Do you know ball?
You know ball.
Do you know ball?
You know ball.
Do you know ball?
You know ball. All right, ladies and gents. Episode 23. That's the LeBron number. We're gonna go right into it with some basketball. Y'all ready for this? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. That's where we would like insert the the music. We say, y'all ready for this? Dun-dun. You know that one?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
do know
you
that
do?
one. Go ahead, get into the topics today. Come on.
Yeah,
Let's do
I'm just going right into it because a lot of you probably clicked on this. So let's get it out of the way first. The NBA Finals are here. They're back. We're ready. Let's go ball, everyone. The Celtics versus Dallas Mavericks are the matchup this year. All right. As we record this, game one already took place. Game two, I believe, is tonight. So we'll see how that goes. But right now, we're going to talk solely based off what we saw in game one. Game one ended with a 107 points victory. I said that really weird. The Celtics scored 107 points to the Mavericks 89. Okay. Celtics absolutely dominated the entire game. Kristaps Porzingis, this man took like a 7-month vacation and came back absolutely dominating. Where was this Kristaps in Dallas? I think, Dallas fans are wondering, why didn't we get this version of Kristaps? Jason Tatum did not really have a good game. And that just kind of goes to show you how scary that the Celtics are, considering that their best player didn't have a great game. And I want to talk about that best player comment because Jaylen Brown, could he be the Celtics' best player? It seems that Mavericks head coach and Brooklyn net legend, New Jersey net legend, actually, let me fix that. Jason Kidd believes that he is the best player on the Boston Celtics. And even Drew Holiday, a member of the Boston Celtics, actually believes that too. And the more we get into these games, the more maybe Jaylen Brown can cement himself as potentially the best player on the Boston Celtics. But from what I'm seeing is Jason Tatum is continuously getting disrespected. I think he's the best player on the Celtics still, and he still has a couple more games to prove it. I think the Celtics are going to come out on top in this series. The first game seemed pretty lopsided. I wouldn't be surprised if it ended in a sweep, but Luka's got to step up a little bit more. And he had 30 point. Yeah, let me finish. Let me finish, you fish stick. All right, let me finish.
All right, go ahead.
You,
Go
you
ahead.
can't you can't
No,
give me
go
that
ahead.
face and not let me finish what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Luka had 30 points, yes, but his teammates had a total of 59. Okay. Luka has to step up in facilitating. Do you like that? Now,
I agree
now,
with that.
there you
I could
go.
get along with that. I know where you're going with that at
Yeah, let
first, but
me
I could
let
get
me
along with that. All
let
right,
me
go ahead.
finish your
Continue.
fish stick. All
Continue.
right. All right, all right. So Luka's got to get other people involved. Basketball is, people can say it's a one-man sport, but it's really not. You got to get people involved, especially in the NBA Finals. Kyrie Irving only had 12 points. He's supposed to be an offensive threat, another guy to go hand in hand with Luka, who, seems that they've been working pretty well. They're in the NBA Finals. But Kyrie just was not, as great as people know him to be this past game. 12 points. I think PJ Washington. Let me take I'm
He had
checking the box for
14.
right now. PJ Washington had 14. I think that was the
Mhm.
second highest score on the Mavericks, if I'm not mistaken. It was, yeah. Actually, no. Oh, yeah, no. Jaden Hardy had 13 in 11
Mhm.
minutes, but I don't really care about Jaden Hardy. Who cares about Jaden Hardy? I feel like only you're a Mavericks fan, you care about Jaden Hardy. Basically, game one, very lopsided, as I said. Luca's got to get people more involved, start sharing it a little bit. You can't do everything. You can't score 30 and the rest of your entire team scores 59 and you only score 89 points in the NBA Finals against this offensive juggernaut of a team, the Boston Celtics, where, their five best players are all borderline all-stars. You have to do something. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this ends in a sweep. But I think Luca and Kyrie are too good of players to let that happen. I think that maybe they can take one or two, but at this rate, who knows? I don't know if you want to add anything, Zach. I do. I should
Yeah.
probably point out real quick that at this moment, Luca is questionable for tonight's game, game two of the NBA Finals. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I just think tonight is going to be a very pivotal game in the series because you definitely don't want to go back to Dallas being down 2-0 because if you lose one more game, it's over. It's if the Celtics go up 3-0, there's no shot that Luka comes back and wins the finals.
Yeah, I don't
So,
think so.
I think there's a lot riding on tonight's game. The goal is to at least take at least one game from Boston at their home court. So,
Mhm,
but there's a few things that I want to highlight. Like I know I we talked about you talked about how he needs to get his teammates involved. I agree with that completely because in game one it's something that we saw something that we don't normally see from Luca. Like Luca pretty much averages a triple double almost like every single game. If not close to it. So looking at the box score and his stats from last game, game one, he only had one assist. That's not Luca. Luca gets other teammates involved heavily, and it he just didn't do that in game one. Um, so yes, I do agree that he needs to get his teammates involved, but there's other people that got to step up too. Like you said, Kyrie,
mhm,
12 points. He needs to be at the top of his game if they're going to defeat the Celtics because the Celtics are so lengthy and getting back KP was just the pretty much for me and looking at it from like a fan perspective, that was pretty much the nail in the coffin for me because that team is so lengthy in depth and is so good to begin with. The starting five was so good. I mean, they could probably have won the finals without KP, but you add KP and it means so much, honestly. And obviously, it proved to work out for
mhm.
them in game one because he scored 20 in his first game back. So again, he made some big shots. I think he started off the scoring affair in game one with a couple. He knocked out a couple of shots. I don't know how much it was. I think it was like 12 points or so in the first couple minutes or something like that. But yeah, he was big. He was big for the Celtics. And they have to try to stop. They have to try to stop a lot of people. They got to stop. Okay, number one option, technically Jason Tatum. They got to stop him. Jason Tatum didn't have a good game in game one, but that doesn't mean he's gonna have a bad game two times in a row. He's averaging like 26 or 27 in the playoffs. Um, so he's probably gonna come back and have a pretty good game tonight. And then you got Jaylen Brown to worry about. You know, he's averaging about the same too. He's about 23, 25 points per game in the playoffs. And then you got to worry about, of course, Derek White, who I've actually done some research on. I believe he's averaging like 17 or so,
It's
maybe
tough.
17 or so in the playoffs. So you got to worry about him and his 3-point scoring. And then, of course, Drew Holiday, who doesn't really need to do much. He just needs to play defense, but he could easily drop 10 to 15 points at any given moment or go off on any given moment. And then now KP, you know, he scored 20 in game one, although I don't know how it's gonna go necessarily in game two. I can definitely see him scoring another 20 points in game two. So it just all depends. And if the Mavs don't have Luca tonight, that's gonna be a very decider for me.
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
that's an easy 2-0 for the Celtics. And they just because Kyrie can't do it on his own, at least not anymore, like he used to. He didn't do it even when he was in Cleveland. He's never really been alone leading a team. So I don't without Luca, this game's a wash. So
Mhm.
it's a very important game tonight. But we'll see it. We'll see how what happens if Luca's healthy.
I
Yeah.
do want to. I want to say before we end the segment, what is your prediction for this series? I want to know. Yeah.
Dude, honestly,
In how many games?
I think it's five. I think they're gonna win in five. I think
Celtics.
Mavs, yeah, Celtics
Yeah.
are
I
gonna win in five.
was gonna say the same thing.
Mavs might take a
Like,
game.
mhm.
You know, it might be when they're down 3-0 or something like that, or they could even take a game. The first game at home. But regardless, I think Celtics are in five.
I agree with that. We
They
agree
they're
to
just
something.
they're
Yeah.
just too good of a team, and it's gonna be too hard to beat them. So Celtics in five. That's my take on that. You got anything else you want to talk about before we go to the next topic?
I mean, it's just going. I hope it's fun. because,
Mhm.
the whole Boston and Kyrie rivalry, and then I don't even know if there's a rivalry with Kristaps and Dallas. It's just two stars playing their former teams. There's some blood and heat in the water. Hopefully it's fun. Hopefully the rest of the series is interesting because it
Mhm.
was one of the most least watched first games of the NBA Finals, I believe, in recent history. So
But
let's
you know
let's
what,
hope.
too?
Let's
You know what,
hope.
too? KP KP was like I wanted to touch on this before. I just didn't remember. I wanted to say this too. KP was good in Dallas, but
Hmm.
he just couldn't stay healthy. Same thing here.
Sure. Hmm.
He's good on the Celtics, really good on the Celtics, but he can't stay healthy. And fully healthy KP means a lot to especially to both teams. If whether he stayed with the Mavs or whether he on the Celtics, it's the a fully healthy KP matters to pretty much any team.
Hmm.
So he was
Yeah.
good. He just couldn't stay healthy. That's
They
just the problem.
they they basically traded KP for Kyrie Irving because they traded Kristaps for what? Like Dinwiddie and Bertans, and then they flipped Dinwiddie and Dorian for Kyrie. So it's really just, what was I gonna say? Battle of the I don't know. It still worked out for both sides. I mean, sure, even though KP's doing great and all, you have Kyrie Irving and you're in the finals. So, and the
Yeah.
Celtics, they traded for Kristaps and got a pick in return. Brad Stevens that's who I aspire to be. General manager Brad Stevens.
Well, yeah, well,
Continue.
we knew
Yeah.
that the Celtics were gonna go to the finals. I think we both predicted that the Celtics were gonna go to the finals. But
Well,
I definitely didn't have Mavs on
I
my
think
bingo card.
we both said Nuggets.
We both said Nuggets.
I said Nuggets were going to win it all, and I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I'm very surprised that they lost. Not
Look,
even in the
something.
conference
Yeah.
finals, man.
I mean, some things happen for a reason, man. Some things
Hmm.
happen for a reason. I mean,
This is
obviously
true.
not for the Timberwolves, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll just see what happens in game two. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna go to the a fun topic.
The snooze fest.
It wasn't a snooze fest. I enjoyed watching it,
Well,
regardless of the how different the two team standings are. Let's talk about the London series. London series was kind of fun. I enjoyed both games, even though the first game was kind of a wash, but the second game was kind of exciting. You had Mets were down 3-0 the whole time. JD Martinez tied it up late in the sixth inning. Um, then the Phillies go up, of course, 4-3 with a surprise home run from David Dahl. I didn't even yeah, yeah, that's my reaction too. I
David
didn't
Dahl's in the league.
David Dahl was put into the lineup and he hit a pinch hit home run today for the Phillies. Yeah, the most oddest thing. I don't know. They called
Yeah.
him up for AAA. They said he hit like 12 home runs in AAA. Um, and they called him up. He pinch hit. He hit a home run. And you can't knock him. I don't know.
I was today years old when I found out that David Dahl was an all-star in 2019. Since when?
Yeah, man. I mean, David Dahl, man. He came through, hit a home run. Can't really say much about that, but you know, of course, the Mets battled back in the last inning due to no big hits of their own. It was just kind of pure luck. You know, they got a little dribbler from Vientos, which loaded up the bases because Bohm booted it. I don't think he really had a play. Anyways, then you got a hit by pitch to Alonso. Ball skips by. They scored three. Of course, Lindor comes up, bases loaded, doesn't come through. Um, and just the other thing, they just got out. So they put up three. They went up 6-4, but I knew going into the last inning they were gonna need more runs, but they only went up two. Phillies made it interesting in the end, but the Mets kind of got like a Hail Mary, like praise God uh gift with the little dribbler by Castellanos in front of home plate, and Terens made a great play. So I mean, both games were fun. Both games were fun to watch. Um, the crowds, I mean, dude, there was like over 100,000 people uh in total for both games. Um, so the crowds got into it. There was a few "Let's go Mets" chants, and then Phillies booed "Let's go Phillies" chants. So it was really interesting to watch. And you know what? Bryce Harper had like a pretty good take on this, and I think I couldn't agree more with him. He when asked, he said to reporters, he said, "I wish that Major League Baseball would bring four teams over here, make it a four-round robin, and stay for a week and a half or 2 weeks, just so UK baseball fans can rally around it." I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. That venue and that stadium was so nice, and it's just like a breath of fresh air to like the normal MLB stadiums and just going to each opposing team's home and away. You know what I mean? Like London was fun. London was fun. I think MLB should do that more often. I think
Mhm.
MLB should have teams go down to London and play a few series in London. Like I said, like Harper said, a few weeks. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd bring a lot of life to the game and a lot more people pay attention to the game. And I just enjoyed the London series. So yeah, again, it was really fun. I don't know if you got any take on it,
Nah.
but I really truthfully enjoyed watching baseball in London. But now it's time to lock back in and go. They go home, they play Miami for 3 games, and I believe we got something brewing in the future. Mets Yankees is coming up.
When?
They play the Marlins for 3 games, then they play the Padres for 3 games, and then it's the Yankees.
What day? Do you know the date?
I don't exactly know the date, but it's in a few days. It's in a few days. I think next week or so. I'm pretty sure next week they play the Yankees. So that
June 25th.
that should be pretty fun. It should be pretty fun.
June
I
25th, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that because that's gonna be a war for words on here.
No, not really. I mean, it's gonna be boring as hell, but
Whatever you think.
I know it's gonna be boring as hell.
Whatever you think. Whatever you think.
I know it's gonna be boring as hell.
Usually the balls are always juiced. We always have good games regardless of
And it
who's
still
who
don't help
plays.
y'all. It still don't help the Mets.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Should be fun. Just lead us into our next topic.
Sure. Let's talk about. So we talked about a series that didn't have a very good baseball player. So let's talk about a good baseball player for once. Luis Rob. Yes. Other than the Phillies, sorry, minus the Phillies, they have very good baseball players, but the other team, not so much. Let's talk about a team that does have good baseball players, or one good baseball player, I should say, or two good baseball players. The Chicago White Sox, they're something. I don't even know how to describe them, really. Luis Robert is officially on the market. They are reportedly seeking a package that is greater than what the Padres gave up for Juan Soto at the deadline in 2022. If you don't remember what they gave up, it was CJ Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, James Wood, and I'm sure there's some other little pieces thrown in there. Joy Meneses, right? I'm sure that was the trade. There might have been an extra guy or two in there. That is an insane package. CJ Abrams is looking like a future star. Mackenzie Gore's having a very good year. James Wood is one of the top prospects in all of baseball. That trade severely helped the Washington Nationals from the dumps that they were in to, I mean, they're still kind of in dumps, but at least they have some good young pieces now, right? And then essentially they traded Juan Soto for the Yankees scraps, right? The best young piece they got was Drew Thorpe, who they just flipped for Dylan Cease. So really, they traded Juan Soto for Dylan Cease. If you think about it, I mean, but that's not the whole point of the topic. The point of the topic is we're going to talk about Luis Robert because now the White Sox are kind of just officially full sell mode. They traded Dylan Cease. We didn't know if they were going to do that. Luis Robert, he's young. He was out for the majority of the year, but he's now back. He's been doing all right since he's been back, to my knowledge. Um, Where's he gonna go? I've seen a lot of rumored teams. I think the one that I've seen the most is the Phillies, and I can honestly see that. I think now, especially that they're first in the NL, they could make a move for the young slugger and have him for years to come. I don't know when he's a free agent or if that's coming anytime soon, if he's under contract, team control, whatever. But I think Luis Robert would be a really good fit for the Phillies, especially since they are first in the NL at the moment and they might want to go all in. I have seen the Giants been rumored in Luis Robert moves, and I could also see it happening. Jung Ho Lee out for the year. The outfield itself is kind of sketchy. I know Conforto's just came back from injury. You have Jorge Soler, who is probably the primary DH anyway, I think, for them. So I could totally see him going to the Giants as well. It really just depends on who is going to make the best package for Luis Robert. And I probably should have honestly seen what his contract is so I can kind of gauge what his value is. So that's something to keep in mind that Luis Robert might be on the move. And honestly, I think it's going to happen. Another person I want to talk about from the White Sox, Garrett Crochet. No clue where he's going to go. I didn't even know that they were trying to shop him. Was he's now a starter for them, right? Starting
Yeah,
pitcher.
he's a starting pitcher for them.
He was
Um,
originally a reliever. I
mhm.
guess they flipped him to a starter this year. He's been doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's been pretty well. That's why he's on the trade block.
The Mets could use him probably.
Of course, but I don't think that they're gonna go out and get them. Mets are gonna be sellers unless for some godforsaken reason that God kisses them on the mouth and they somehow make it close and could potentially go to the wild card, but that's a long shot. But who knows?
Who
Still
knows?
we're
Yeah.
still like a third in the season, a little over
Yeah.
a third in the season. So, um,
But I
yeah,
will say you add Robert to a lineup that already has like Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Trey Turner when I think he's healthy, Bryson Stott, Castellanos. I might have missed some names. Alec Boehm. You add Luis Robert into the heart of that lineup. That is a very scary team. And that
yeah,
could be a
of course.
piece, especially with their already incredible rotation. And I don't know how their bullpen's been this
Bullpen's
year.
been great.
It's been great.
Bullpen's great. Yep.
You add Luis Robert into that lineup, the Phillies might be something. I mean, they are something now, but maybe they're the World Series winners. Maybe. Who knows? October's where everything gets decided. Luis Robert doesn't really have that much experience in October. I'm sorry. But, who knows? That's fun. And for you, it sucks. But for me, I love it.
Yeah, it does suck, but yeah, I could see Luis Robert going to the Phillies. I mean, as much as I would hate it, I think it's a good fit for them. I do think they're all in. They've come so close the past 2 years. I mean, the last year they lost to the the Diamondbacks um to go to the World Series, and they were in the World Series the year before that. So I do think that it makes a lot of sense for the Phillies to go out and get him. But dude, their lineup is great already. Like their lineup is already lengthy already. Adding Robert to that lineup is a problem. As long as he can stay healthy, that's a big addition to their lineup. And I mean, they could do it. Lengthy bullpen, great starting rotation, great stars, great bats, great lineup, great team. They're probably
Mhm.
one of the best, if not the best in baseball right now. Top two.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Top
Who's
two.
top? Who's top one?
I mean, it goes back and forth each day. You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, the Yankees and the Phillies both have the best records right now, but like it's like half game each day sometimes, just depending on who wins and who loses that day. So they're both really good teams.
The Phillies also have five top 100 prospects, if my math was correct. So a deal could get done. A deal could get done. It just depends on how the White Sox value those prospects because every team values prospects differently. So it could get done, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is a Philly, but if he's also like a Giant, wouldn't be surprised either. Don't know what
This
other teams
this
would be
doesn't
interested.
shock you though, right? That the White Sox are sellers. I mean, dude, they're
No,
17-48.
no,
And
I mean,
they've been so bad for so many years. Like, and they sold some people last year. they sold and they just got rid of Dylan Cease. So I mean, it's
Drew
just
Thorpe's good though. Drew Thorpe will
yeah.
be very good for
I
them.
mean, you know what? It's the end of that regime, and I also think they're gonna move Eloy. I don't know to which team, but I think Eloy could be moved potentially soon too.
Eloy has to step foot on a baseball field before he can get traded.
Yeah, that I mean they've both been like that though.
Ben Simmons of the MLB. Actually, I don't know about that, but good player when he's healthy and he plays, but he can never stay healthy or play.
Nope, walking hospital,
Mhm.
just like Robert can be. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, DJ, I'm gonna let you do this topic as well.
Really?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's really kind of you. We're talking about players that might get traded at the deadline. Let's add another name in there. Could Vladimir Guerrero Jr. be on the move? I mean, I've seen some rumors, some little rumblings and bumblings about it. Blue Jays at the moment, fourth in the AL East. The Cubs are the team that I've seen the most discuss about possibly getting Vlad, sliding him into first base. A lot of Blue Jays, in general, have contributed to why they've been so bad this year. Last year they made the playoffs. They've always generally been like a pretty solid team, especially ever since they added that little young core of talent. But that young core of talent has not necessarily been all that great this year, except for Vlad. Vlad's been doing pretty good. But I'm talking mainly Bo Bichette has been pretty disappointing to start the year. Kevin Gausman, their ace, supposed to be a top five pitcher in all of baseball, not looking like it this year. He had a great game last night. He pitched like a complete game shutout with like 10 Ks. It was against the A's, so does that really count? I don't care. But Kevin Gausman's season this year has just been nothing straight of disappointing. Like I said, supposed to be a top five pitcher in baseball, not playing like it. Kevin Biggio was just DFA'd like the other day. So that's another guy that was supposed to be something just gone, reduced to ashes. George Springer has been disappointing. They lost Teoscar Hernandez like what, a year or two ago. So I mean, he's
2 years ago.
thriving for the Dodgers right now. He could have been something fun if they had kept him or brought him back. He could have gave some life to this lineup. I mean, who did they trade? They traded Moreno and Lourdes for Dalton Varsho. That is
Terrible trade.
you know what I mean? It's just such a lopsided trade. You have Alejandro Kirk. They put all their eggs in his basket, and he has just not really been all that great either. Varsho, honestly don't even know how Dalton Varsho has been, but you gave up Moreno and Lourdes Gurriel for sorry. You gave up Lourdes and Moreno for Varsho. I don't know, man. It's looking it's gonna come back to haunt them. So and they're pitching, it's like I mean, you got Barrios, Gausman, I already touched on Kikuchi, whoever else they have, Chris Bassett, Manoa. Manoa's like, who even knows with
Man.
him? Who even knows with him?
Mm-mm-mm.
Bull,
Manoa's supposed to be really fucking good. Excuse my
eh,
language, but
no, you're good.
Manoa's was supposed to be, continue to be an all-star for years to come. I fully expected that too, but he's been terrible. I
Mm.
mean, he teased you a little bit in the beginning when he first came up this year a little bit. He had like a few good outings. And it made you think like, oh, maybe this guy's back. Maybe he could do something and add something to this Blue Jays team. But no, no, he's just hasn't been the same since he was an all-star. So they just have a lot of problems right now. But go ahead, continue.
No, yeah, it's just there's something going on with the Blue Jays this year, and I don't know what. I don't know what's going on. They're all just playing bad. Maybe George Springer's age finally is catching up to him. But the whole point is just to kind of show why they're thinking of moving Vladdy, who, although is having their best year, could recoup a lot of assets for them. And like I said, a team that has been discussed, the Chicago Cubs. I think he'd fit nicely right into that lineup, give him a little bit of a push or a little boost to push them farther into the playoffs as a wild card or maybe run away with the division, but I don't know about that at this rate. I don't know what other teams are looking for a first baseman. I know the Yankees would like a first baseman, but the chances of the Blue Jays giving the Yankees their
Mm.
best player is probably close to none. Um, But that's just all there is on Vlad. It was really kind of new news. So unlike Robert, it's kind of been known for a while, but the Vlad news kind of I just saw today. So hopefully there might be more of a development on this coming further. And if we have more information, we'll definitely leak it out there to y'all. But at the moment, this is what we got, and we'll see if Laddie or Robert or Crochet if they'll be on the move, and then we'll have a more interesting topic for y'all. So Zach, you wanna go right into the next one, I guess?
Yeah, yeah. So, unlike, people who are going to be moved and stuff, this was actually another hit to, uh, surprising enough, the Astros, who are one of the worst teams in the league. They are really bad this year. Extremely disappointing. And a lot of that has been due to injuries and, main guys who have fallen down and just haven't played for them. And they just lost another one, which is Christian Javier, who's done for the year. He's getting Tommy John surgery, and it's just yet another big blow for them. So their hopes of going making a playoff push to this year are going away by the second. I mean, this team is struggling mightily right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's again, like I said, it's due to a lot of injuries. It's due to a lot of injuries. Uh certain things certain things are happening to them that you would have never expected. I would have never expected them to be negative at all. They have pretty much virtually the same team as last year, the year before that, and the year before. Like they have the same team that they've won, pretty much won a championship um with a few minor tweaks. You know, they have a great rotation. They had a great bullpen. Injuries just got caught up to them. Enier Diaz, who actually is probably having one of the best seasons along with Kyle Tucker. I know Kyle Tucker was hurt for a little bit. I don't know if he's back.
He just went on the 10-day.
Oh, okay. So then yeah. That's that's another thing. What's he on the 10-day for?
Shin contusion, I think it was. It's nothing crazy bad. It's just he got hit or he fouled it off of him. I don't know. He just got hit some way. They took him out of the game, and I think it's just more of like a precautionary thing. So I mean, they're already bad, so it's like why force him to play through it? So 10-day IL. Hopefully he'll be back soon for fantasy purposes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of struggles for this team. And again, you would never have like picked them to be in last place or like a last bottom feeder team. But I think a lot of their success right now is going to they're gonna have to just take it game by game and see what they could do, see what wins they could pull out, and see where they're at the deadline. Um, I don't know, could potentially be some players be on the market for them. Who knows? Definitely not like they're big name guys. Especially not like the people they lock down, like Hater, definitely not.
Mhm.
Um, Jordan, definitely not. Jose Altuve, definitely not. Tucker, definitely not. Pena, probably not either. But maybe like I could see them maybe shipping off, seeing what they get for. I mean, Ryan Presley. Ryan Presley doesn't mean much to them, especially right now. He's had a terrible year, and a person who you thought would have been a really great one-two punch to Hater, which I even said this is going to be one of the best one-two punches in baseball right now. Didn't play out that way. And Presley's been terrible this year. So, and he's been struggling on the injured list as well. So, maybe like a few supporting member cast on the team, maybe they be shipped off, moved somewhere, or maybe they try to get something from other teams in some way. I don't know. Whatever they got to do, they got to figure it out, and they got to figure it out fast because the worse they keep playing, the less of a shot they have to make the playoffs, and there's just there's just no future right now for this season. So we're just gonna have to see exactly how they play and how they do until the trade deadline, and hopefully we could give you guys more more opinions and trades and targets for them on that. But yeah, if you want
Hmm.
to add anything, you can.
No, nothing really. I'm glad that their downfall is upon us, but I have nothing much to add. I do want to add something unrelated though. I
Okay.
just got word that Luka Doncic is on track to play tonight. So going from our topic from before. So I just
Okay.
want to throw that in there. So the series could flip. Who knows? But that's all I have to say.
All right. Move on. Let's move on to the next topic.
Yes, before we do, you owe me an apology.
Why?
You owe me an apology.
For what?
You know.
I don't think I do, but
I think you
oh,
do. I
yeah.
before I start, I want you to sit back, hands like this, praying to the heavens. I'm sorry for ever doubting you, General Manager Deej.
I'm not gonna say that, but
Say it. I'm not say it.
I
I
do
want the
feel bad.
world to know how wrong you were.
I do feel bad
I want you to
about
tell the
saying this.
world how wrong you
Um,
were.
I was
Admit,
wrong. I was
admit
wrong.
it.
I was wrong.
About what?
I was wrong about Tariq Skubal.
There we go. Let's talk about the next topic. Tariq
Yep.
Skubal. We talked about him a while ago, like before this season even. Oh no, not before, but we were like he was like maybe what 2, 3 starts into the year. It was early on in the year, and I said, "Yo, he's gonna be the Cy Young. I wouldn't be surprised." And I got looks like I was an alien from another planet. I wish I did homework and I went back to that pod before this pod, and I wish I wrote down some of your words that you said. I wish. I think a lot of the worst words were said off camera, not in a podcast setting, because you're more free to say whatever you want because it has to be a little bit more professional. So I really wish I wrote down some of the things you said, but I was right and you were wrong. Can you repeat that for me?
You, I was wrong and you were right.
Thank you. Never doubt GMD, okay? Let's talk about him though. Tariq Skubal right now, at the time of this recording, he's 7-1, has a 1.97 ERA, and he has 86 Ks. He is on track to start the All-Star game. I think the only person that you honestly could put into discussion for that is Luis Heel on the Yankees, but I don't know if they'll give it to him because he's a rookie. I mean, I think he'll be an All-Star. I think they'll both be All-Stars, definitely. But Tariq Skubal is probably in line to start the All-Star game. And honestly, if he keeps this up, which I think he will be the AL Cy Young. And I know we're like a third into the year. Could be a very crazy statement, but I'm doubling down on that. I said that at the start of the season, Tariq Skubal was going to win the Cy Young. I'm going to say it now. And every 5 weeks, I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to keep doubling down on it. I'm going to double down, triple down, quadruple down in it, because that's how confident I am. Tariq Skubal is going to win the AL Cy Young. And I feel more confident than ever saying that now. And that's really it. This segment was just to prove how right I was, to boost my ego,
To boost your ego.
because
Okay.
I am the greatest to ever live.
Okay, okay. You were right. He's having a great year. Um, and
That's
yeah,
right.
as long he will be the AL Cy Young if he could keep it up.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if he could keep it up, but he
You're right,
certainly
because uh,
certainly certainly
Luis
hasn't done anything
Luis
to
Hill's on his ass. You're right. He might not keep
yeah.
it up.
Well, he certainly hasn't done anything to prove me otherwise. I don't think Luis Heel is going to win Cy Young. I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. He's a very good shot to win Rookie of the Year.
He is the rookie of the year.
So, but again, with him too, it's just as long as he can keep it up, he's got that in his bag. He's been great. He's been like a diamond in the rough for the Yankees. But this is what is this Tariq Skubal's like first like actual like full season so far?
I don't know, but
I believe
I don't
so.
know. I think that was your argument. You said it last time. Oh, I haven't seen him play enough. He's been hurt.
Yeah,
And I definitely combated at you with something going against that. So I don't know. But I really want to watch that old pod now and see
I
what
believe he
I
said
said.
something about his like his pitch arsenal. I think he said something about his sinker or something like that.
I said he had like one of the I said he was the best lefty in the game, and you were
Hmm.
like, "What about Framber?" You were saying stuff, and I'm like, "No, he's better than Framber." And then I
And
said he
you're
had
right about that.
one of the nasty. one of the nastiest pitches in the game, his off speed or something, or maybe it was a certain pitch. I don't remember, but I just remember saying something
Mhm.
along those lines. And actually, you can talk. I know I made a YouTube short about it. Hold on.
Yeah,
Mm,
I don't know, man. It's kind of it's not out of left field. I mean, you could have picked Screwball. I think most people did actually. I was one of the only people that really didn't.
Tariq Skubal will win the AL Cy Young. That isn't even the caption. And this was how long ago?
It was quite a bit of before the season started. It was definitely before the season started.
No, I think it was like early in the year. No, because this was
Early
talking
on in
about
the year.
opening day. So I think this was like
Oh,
second
okay.
week of the season.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you called it. As long as he can keep up what he's doing right now, he's got the Cy Young in the bag. I don't think there's any other options for Cy Young in the AL. Maybe Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns, I believe, is like two right now on the list. But yeah, why are you admiring this right now?
because I was so right.
Okay, so put it away.
Sorry.
Like,
I have to
like
boost my ego somehow.
you're fine. Your ego's boosted. You were
Thank
right,
you.
and
Thank you.
I was wrong. There you
Thank you.
go. There's
Let's
your
get that
there's
on.
your
Let's get that on
boosted
a
ego.
shirt. Let's get that on a
Get on a
shirt.
shirt.
Frank was right. Let's get that on a shirt.
Whatever. Yeah,
I'm gonna keep saying that was how many weeks ago? We're like, I'm 6-4 in fantasy. That was 10 weeks, 9 weeks, 9 weeks ago. Every 9 weeks, I'm gonna say Tariq Skubal is the Cy Young.
you're gonna give us a Tariq Skubal update.
Every 9 weeks. Every 9 weeks. You're
All right.
welcome, Tariq.
Well, we'll see how that
The
goes.
Tariq Skubal propaganda has begun.
We'll see how that goes. But I wanna get to our wrap up segment. Now,
Sure.
this is gonna be fun because we have never talked about this ever before on the
Because
podcast.
no
But
balls are involved in this one.
no, nope, no balls. It's just straight hands
Just
and fists.
fists.
This
Just
should be
fists.
one of the most exciting pay-per-view events, besides 302. UFC 303 is coming up in the next couple weeks. I think in two weeks or so. And Conor McGregor is making a return against Michael Chandler. Both two terrific fighters. This is a fight that's long in the making. Um, but there's a lot riding on this fight for Conor. This could be Conor's last fight. It just depends on a lot of things. Obviously, his last fight that he had the doctor stoppage against Dustin Poirier, and that led to his loss and also him being out for a long time. But it's a great comeback. Um, something we did. I don't think I thought he was gonna be in the UFC again. But he's making a return, and I don't know. I don't know. This is unless he gets injured. If he gets injured or loses, this could be his last fight in the UFC. And although it may be sad to see, it's just Conor just hasn't been in his prime in a long time. Like he's been on a series of losses. Um, and he just hasn't been the same for a while. So I really honestly he hasn't been the same since his fight with Khabib. So this is a big fight for him. If he wins though, if he wins the other side of this, if he beats Michael Chandler, do we see him take another run at the belt to try to get the belt? I don't know. I don't know. But I think it's exciting for UFC if he does end up winning because I mean, although he's not like necessarily old in age, like he's like 33 in his early 30s, he just doesn't have to do it anymore. That's the main thing with Conor. Like Conor did so much already for the UFC and brought all this new talent to the UFC and brought a lot of eyes to the UFC and he's made so much money that he just doesn't have to do it, but he does it because he loves to fight. He loves UFC. He loves the art of it. He loves the art of fighting. It's just who he is. It's a part of him. So there's a lot riding on this for Connor. And if he does end up winning, I think it could mean potentially another run at the belt. But if he loses, that might be the last we see of Connor, just like it was the last we saw of Poirier against when he lost to Islam. So, with that being said, I just wanted to touch on that real quick.
Mhm.
You know, we had a lot of UFC fans have been waiting to hear his walkout song and to see him in the octagon again. Um, and they're finally getting the chance to do that in a few days on June 29th. We are definitely going to do an update on that, on who wins and stuff, and talk about what led to either his win or his loss. Chandler's a good opponent. Chandler's a good opponent for him. Uh, but yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick before before we sign off.
Mhm.
But with that being said, that is the end of episode 23 of the Do You Know Ball podcast. We will be back next week at some point um with episode 24, hopefully with some updates, maybe updates on the Maverick series. We could talk about more UFC depending if you guys like it or not. So just you guys got to let us know on that.
Facts, facts, facts.
Because fight night's coming up for UFC before 303, and there's some good fights on that card too. So we could talk about that. We could add that in. Just guys gotta let us know, give us some feedback on the UFC content. But with that being said, that's the end of episode 23. We will catch you guys in the next one.